The movie opens with a scene of a bird flying in the sky. Remember this bird. You'll know later why this bird is so important in this movie. Our main lead ghost dog, a middle-aged man, appears on screen sitting inside his house holding a book in his hand. But this is not an ordinary book. He is reading a historical book, Hagakure, a book that teaches a warrior how to fight with rules. He is a ghost dog. He works for a mafia boss who often ordered him to kill his target. The ghost dog at night comes out of his room with a suitcase in his hand. He sees a police van and gets shocked, but he needs to fulfill an order of his boss, so he carefully steals a car and starts driving it by sitting inside. He keeps driving with a lost expression on his face and remembers the passages from the book Hagakure. Soon he appears on his destiny, but here we see another scene of 3 mafia mobsters sitting inside a restaurant. 2 of them, Louis, the master of Ghost Dog, talk with others about how Ghost Dog will kill their target gangster, Frank. Both were sure that Ghost Dog would surely complete the task. Ghost Dog carries a gun in his hand and enters the room where Frank was sitting in front of a television watching cartoons. A young woman wearing a revealing red dress sits behind him on a sofa. She holds a book in her hand. She is the daughter of the mafia boss, Vargo. While during a dialogue, she throws her book on the floor. Suddenly, Ghost Dog arrives at the door, who is assigned to kill his boyfriend, and shoots the man without letting him save himself. The woman remains silent. When the ghost dog sees the woman, he gets a shock, but when he looks at the woman scared, the ghost dog lets her go alive and leaves the place. But he forgets that the woman has seen his face, which is now going to create troubles for him. Before leaving, he grabs the book of Vargo's daughter from the floor. In the coming scenes, the mobster Louis writes a message, an urgent meeting call, and puts the paper inside a pigeon. This is his way of connecting with Ghost Dog. Remember that pigeon from the first scene? This is it. The pigeon arrives at the Ghost Dog house roof, where he sleeps between hundreds of pigeon feedings. Ghost Dog sees a flashback of how Louis saved his life. The pigeon landed, and Ghost Dog received the message. But Ghost Dog didn't come to know that leaving the girl alive is going to become a mess for him. His master Louis goes under strict questioning from his mafia bosses. They ask Louis why his man showed his face to a girl who is the daughter of Mr. Vargo, another mafia mobster. Now they can be in danger for the killing of another gangster in their town. The mafia bosses insist Louis accept the responsibility of the blunder and kill the Ghost Dog. Louis tells them that he didn't even meet with Ghost Dog personally. They contact each other through pigeons, and Ghost Dog is a passionate huntsman. But the mafia puts pressure on him to find Ghost Dog and kill him. Louis finds it uncomfortable, and on the other hand, Ghost Dog practices meditation and sharp skills of sword on his roof. Soon he leaves for the park, where he sits silently on a bench eating an ice cream. A young girl, Pearline, comes there and sits next to him. She shows him some books, and Ghost Dog gifts her a book, which he grabs from the man's room whom he killed before. Ghost Dog gets friendly with the little girl and gives her an ice cream. He introduces the girl to the ice cream man and calls him his best friend. He leaves by saying that he has important business to do. Another scene opens, and we see 2 men sent by mafia bosses are looking for Ghost Dog. They search for him in every house that contains a pigeon house in its roof. They kill one innocent man by considering him the Ghost Dog, but the Ghost Dog was far away, standing silently with a wall when a car passed nearby him. One of the mafia bosses, Sonny, closely observes Ghost Dog from his car. Ghost Dog, too, catches a glimpse of him. He prepares his gun for something serious, which comes in the next scene when we see Louis standing next to a wall. He sees a pigeon upon his head, he starts smoking, and suddenly he feels gun pressure on his temple. He realizes that it is Ghost Dog. He asks him how he found him. Louis tells him that the mafia is now eager to kill Ghost Dog as he spares Vargo's daughter. But Ghost Dog denies and says that he wasn't ordered to kill the girl. Suddenly a man calls Louis from the side, and when he turns to him, Ghost Dog shoots him multiple times. And Louis realizes that the man was about to kill him, but Ghost Dog saves his life. Ghost Dog says to Louis that he is his retainer and will fulfill all his orders. In the other scene, Ghost Dog once again meets with his ice cream man friend, who couldn't speak English. He shows him a man building a boat from his roof. Ghost Dog says goodbye to him and comes back to his home and gets shocked to see all of his pigeons dead. All were scattered on the roof with bullets in their bodies. Ghost Dog feels immense grief as he gets inside his room and opens a hidden chamber in his room. He then pulls out a wooden box. He opens the box and takes out a gun, and when he observes his guns, a pigeon flies inside the room and sits on his hand. Ghost Dog feels touched to see the bird. He then leaves the house holding 2 of his suitcases, and his bird enters the restaurant where all the mafia bosses were sitting in an intense environment. When they see a pigeon coming inside, they become anxious. Louis grabs the pigeon whose shoulder is fractured. He pulls out the message slip and hands this over to his boss. They all anxiously read the text, which was a poetic text from the book Hagakure. A secret message of war was encoded in the poetry. Ghost Dog steals a car and drives it on the roads. Somewhere, he sees a whore with a man going to their decided place. Ghost Dog intentionally steals both of their clothes and starts driving again. When he reaches his destiny, he sets his gun while standing between the woods and takes a view. He sees Vargo along with his daughter in the car, the same girl Ghost Dog spares in the room with Frank. The girl appears to be unhappy with her father. When Ghost Dog tries to shoot Vargo, a bird distracts him. Vargo leaves the place. Ghost Dog decided not to waste his time and drives his car to enter right into the mansion where Vargo lives. The security doesn't allow him to enter, but he pulls out his 2 guns and kills all the security guards outside. Then he enters the mansion, where he finds all the gangsters and their bosses, including Vargo. He single-handedly killed all of them. Vargo becomes shocked to see him when Ghost Dog fires 2 bullets right into his chest. He raises his gun to his daughter, who sits quietly but looks scared. She says greetings to him and asks about her book. Ghost Dog couldn't kill her and leaves the room. Outside, he meets with Louis. He shoots him on his shoulder once again and spares both Louis and Vargo's daughter. Upon leaving the castle, he sees 2 bear hunter ghost dogs, find it disrespectful to kill bears, so he kills both of the men. On the other hand, Louis takes one of his friends to the hospital in a car. Vargo's daughter sits in the car too. They encounter a policewoman on the road. Louis insists she let them go, but his friend directly shoots her in the abdomen and asks Louis to drive the car. Louis finds it uncomfortable, and soon his friend dies. Scene flips on the screen, and we see a ghost dog walking aimlessly on roads. He remembers the phrases from the book Hagakure. He steals another car and drives it on the road. Soon he appears at the house of Sonny Valerio, the only remaining Mafia boss. Ghost Dog kills him by shooting him through the drainage pipe of his sink when he was preparing for a good night's sleep. Ghost Dog finishes his work, so he leaves for the park to meet his friend the Ice Cream Man. His friend was scared and told him that a man with a fractured shoulder had arrived here and was asking questions of him. He was considering him from police who can deport him. Ghost Dog puts all his money and guns into his suitcase and locks it, then hands over the key to his friend. He informs him about his profession and how Louis saves his life when he was only 16, so he decides to be the retainer of him for his life. His friend says that the little girl, Pearline, was looking for him. Soon there arrives Pearline. She returns Ghost Dog his book. Suddenly they hear a scream there. The Ghost Dog comes closer to see who he is. He was Louis, calling his name and holding a gun in his hand. Both share dialogues, but Louis shoots him 3 times. When Ghost Dog finally falls off, Louis feels bad for him. Ghost Dog gives him the book of Vargo's daughter. Pearline and the Ice Cream Man shout as he closes his eyes peacefully near his beloved people, finally becoming a samurai with perfection. Louis leaves the place quickly and sits inside the car where Vargo's daughter sits, replacing his father as a new Mafia boss. Louis gives her the book and she recognizes it. At the end of the movie, little Pearline sits and reads the book Hagakure to be a warrior just like his idol. Did you enjoy the video? Which next movie do you want me to explain in our coming videos? Tell us in the comment section.